I'll call. Okay, this is December 16th, and I'll call the meeting to order and have everybody go around and state their name.
Alec McMurrin.
Marilyn Mishbuchi.
Barb Fish, Lizzie Thompson, Tara Elcock.
And Deborah O'Gara. So we have four of us plus here. So we have a quorum. Give me a second here. All right. So the first order of business is to approve the minutes from our November meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read those?
Yep.
Great.
I move to approve the minutes from the 11/10/25.
I second it.
All right, you guys are moving right along. Any corrections or questions on the minutes? All right, all in favor of approving the November minutes as moved, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, number 3 is amendment and approval for the meeting agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda
Yes,
or subtractions?
I have an addition.
Okay,
You want me to state it now?
yes.
Okay, it's very quick. The next book sale, which we did not have the date at the last meeting, is April 11th, 2026. Usually we have the first Saturday, which would be the 5th, but Easter is on the 6th of April. And the health fair is on March 14th, so it won't interfere with that, and I don't know what else it would possibly interfere. But April 11th right now is the next book sale.
Okay. And Tara, where's a good place? Does that need to be on the agenda or is that more of an announcement?
I think we could, well, we've already talked about it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so let's just do it as an announcement, but I'll make sure it gets into the minutes.
Okay, first.
Yeah.
And
All right.
then I had something, Deb, and that
Yes.
is, I was wondering where we would want to talk about honoring folks. Would that be under 8B?
Oh, it's in.
Well, that's something
Yeah.
we're gonna vote on, but I'm talking about the actual folks that we wanna honor, if we're gonna talk about that.
Should we have the discussion of? I don't know, so there's a
That's-
question, Deb, have you seen the agenda so you can see what we're referring to?
Yeah. So
Eight.
so we're gonna be looking at the policy and you actually have somebody that you want us to discuss for honoring after. that?
Yeah, I
So we
wanted to
should
talk
do it
about, yeah.
after the fact. So we should do it under,
Well, see, like 8B, Tara has as gratitudes, and so that's what I was wondering, would that work there?
so I guess I need to know more. Are you wanting to honor somebody under our new
Yes,
policy?
I want to talk about how we're gonna do that and how we're going to proceed with how many times, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but we wanted to wait till this policy was in place.
If we're going to approve the policy.
If we're gonna prove it, that's right, exactly.
Let's- Yeah, that's.
I'm sorry, yes, you're right, yeah, so,
No, I think the people's names should be separated from the discussion. That's my.
Yes,
I
Right.
agree.
right.
Would that be 7F?
Can I ask a question for clarification? Is it important to be on this agenda? Because
No.
I think if we have a person's name and this discussion on the same agenda, I'm worried about
Okay, yeah, no,
how
it's,
it impacts the discussion.
Yes.
it's okay, I won't be here in February, so I just want,
I don't know if the chair agrees with me.
I do agree with you. That's why I want to not keep it as a number 7, but put it towards the end of the meeting. And
Okay.
maybe just put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
well, I
Is
won't
that-
be here, so it'll have to be the one after that. Cause I
Okay.
wanna be here when it's discussed.
All right.
Anyway, no, it's okay. I just wondered. I wasn't sure if we would do it now or not, so that's why I asked. Okay,
Yeah. I think I agree with Tara that I think having a policy and then a name that all
Yeah.
in the same meeting gets a little confusing.
and I
And
didn't necessarily mean a name, but more like I said, like,
Mhm.
are we going to, if we put this in place, are we going to have a specific month we do this? Are we going to have I mean, I don't know,
That would be a conversation I think we should have at the meeting after we actually
Right.
set the policy.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You mean that's what you're saying, a separate meeting,
Yeah,
set up,
because this is, we've got quite a long agenda.
Yes.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm making it longer. Okay, go on.
All right, any other questions or additions to the agenda? All in favor of accepting the agenda as amended? Okay, any opposed? All right. And I don't see anybody on Zoom. Is there anybody lurking in the hallway for persons to be heard related or unrelated to the agenda? Seeing nobody, we'll move on to 5 and go into Tara's director's report.
Hey, the biggest news is as I thought,
Yeah, that's huge.
almost felt like putting like big fireworks around it. This is a
Yeah,
big deal.
big style.
Chris is going to be retiring. After by the time she retires in April, then 37 years of phenomenal service for the library
right.
and to the community.
Right.
Not just at the library. So, you know, it's terrifying and exciting. Well, Beth has been training into her role for a
Oh,
while.
okay.
Maybe you were aware of that. And she's ready to launch. So they've done an amazing job of transitioning between, the succession planning is what
Sure.
they're doing, not just transitioning. And so we're ready to make that transition.
Wow.
So,
That's.
yeah, I really never imagined we'd be in such a good place to make this transition as I feel we are now.
Well, you got good people.
We've got good
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
yeah.
So
So
is it gonna be a big party or?
that is a conversation that
Well,
maybe the
like-
friends.
Yeah.
Boards,
Mhm, that's what
I'm
I-
almost thinking the friends.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and also I let Chris know that any ideas that we might have for what we'd like to do to honor her, she would need to say yes or no, because everyone has different comfort levels of.
Right.
Acknowledgement, and I'm not sure where she sits on that.
Is she staying till the end of April?
At the library, we don't have an exact date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
next thing I've got, Beth was completing her transition into the tech lead role and doing amazing. Few other, I mean, lots going on, but I've just captured some highlights here so you get a glimpse into what's happening. Barb has been doing social media training and she got the library's Instagram page going, which we've been meaning to do for a while. It's great. And she's also been adding some new content to our Facebook page for those of you that follow. It's been great. Yeah.
Is it just called the Petersburg Public Library Instagram page?
I think
What
it's
is it?
Petersburg Public Library AK.
Okay, because I haven't seen it yet. All right, cool.
So we've been amping up thanks to this training we've been amping up our social media presence a little bit. And it's fun. She's really doing some interesting things with that and more to come.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
When I contacted you about putting something on Facebook for the Christmas shelf,
Yeah.
is Barb the one should I still contact you? or
Yeah,
is-
go ahead and contact me.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see, Kari completed a 10-hour positive Indigenous parenting program, which is a great advantage to us and programming that she does. Ashley Lord has been doing some programming for us this fall. In addition to the children's classes she's been doing. She had 2 overbooked classes, one enamel earring making, 21 people, and another one wreath making, which was like 14 people. So all classes totally full. So that was wonderful to see. I believe she goes back to teaching at the school in the spring, so we're gonna not have classes.
3rd week of January, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna miss her, but when she comes back next fall,
Mhm.
teaches for us. Kari was part of Parks and Recreation's Jingle Mingle and Jingle. I might have gotten that backwards. And she did some sensory table activity. We've got some ongoing programs, some of the usual things, after school Lego, art with Ashley, which actually just wrapped up. Yoga with Karen Malcolm, Rainforest Writers, and the Petersburg Science Series, which is pretty popular. We've got some fun things coming up with the Science Series. Let's see, the online Beth Floor auction. We did our first online art auction, finished up last Wednesday. Heather Kenick, our library clerk, took the pictures. I don't know if you guys had a chance to
Yes.
look around there, but
Did.
she took some fantastic photographs. It was actually pretty easy to set up the site. And, yeah, so we sold all 7
Yay.
paintings.
Bought one.
Congratulations on the team, the wedding gooders.
So how much money was brought in?
We raised $1,455
And-
minus approximately a $70 fee that the site charged us.
Oh, okay. But then now that you've had that set up, then you don't have to pay that fee again.
No, we have to pay it every time.
Oh, every time.
It's per
Okay.
item that you use, and we would totally use it again if it makes
Sure.
sense. Very simple. Yeah, so that was pretty darn easy. Once we learned how to set it up. Our annual, what we call our inventory closure, February 9th through the 12th, although, as many of you know, we do a lot more than inventory. We have a lot of special projects that get banked up over the year, and so it's our chance to close for 4 days and focus. So that's what we'll be doing, February 9th through 12th. Beth and Barb will be attending the Alaska Library Association Conference in Sitka in March. Big deal, neither one of them have attended a library conference before.
This is gonna be great, but who's gonna be running the show?
I know, right? We're
You're gonna
very
be at the
short
front desk?
And if anybody gets sick or can't come in, I will be on the front desk.
Oh my
But we do have
gosh.
we have a schedule in place, so hopefully it
Good.
works. But
But
it
Chris
is,
will still be here too.
and exactly, Chris will still be here in March, which will help a lot. And it's in Sitka, which is where Jessica Aramia is the
Yes.
director, so,
Right. Oh,
yeah,
how
so
fun.
I'm a little jealous, I wanted to go too.
Yeah.
But there's only so many people we can send. It's been a while since we sent anybody to conference. Kari, I think, went 2 years ago. But it's something we often are not able to do, so.
That's
Okay.
I'm
wonderful.
excited for both of them. And I will likely be out of the office January 8th through the 30th. So you're all aware.
And I have a question, but it should have been back with the Beth Flor stuff.
Yeah.
So did you ever hear the PSA that or the recording I did? Cause I never did.
I never did, but
And I
I.
talked to him
So,
twice. Did anybody hear me?
Mm-mm.
I mean,
No.
right after our meeting, I went in and I recorded. And
When was it on?
well, I don't know. I know
Oh.
Isaiah said, well, it's only a minute long, so instead of having a public opinion where it's only played 3 times in one day, we should do it as we'll just, when we're gonna read the announcement, we'll put you there. But see, he said that when Julie wasn't here, so I don't know how much, anyway. And I said, well, it'd be really nice if you could do it, because now to get people, and then he said, we'd like to do it close to the event, and I said, but we want people to go in now. And then do it then too, but I never, ever heard it. And I even asked Julie about it, but. So I just wondered if anybody heard it.
I never heard it.
Okay, but I did do it, just for you to know. I did. So, oh, you bet.
Thank you, Marilyn. You're very good at doing.
Not a problem, but oh well, there you go.
okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's it. For me.
It was good. Thank you.
I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry. I got people over here shoveling, so I didn't want anybody to come in and start yakking at me. So is there any questions on Tara's report? Any other questions? Sounds good. Seeing nothing. Is there any unfinished business? Seeing nothing. Now we've got new business. So 7A, we have the budget calendar. Do you have anything to add to that, Tara? It was pretty self-explanatory.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Budget set process is underway. You can see what it's gonna look like on the calendar. Right now, what I see as the biggest change in our budget is personnel. Because we all have somebody leaving a position, somebody entering in their position, and then a lot of internal shuffling happening. Not a lot, but a few internal shufflings happening. So our budget our personnel budget will be probably the biggest change I foresee.
It should go down, right?
No,
But Chris is the highest paying person.
because we're talking about people's benefits,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. It will change and it won't necessarily go down.
Right.
Okay,
How's that for
Are you-
ambiguity?
Are you going to hire someone to replace, not that you be replacing Chris,
Okay.
but
I need to pass all the changes through the borough manager before I make any announcements. All I can say at this point is that, that's the biggest change I see in my
Yes.
budget. things are gonna shuffle, and I don't really know how that will end up.
So it's insurance that's doing it.
Insurance does play a
Benefits.
huge part, or
Huge.
benefits packages play a huge part of
Yeah.
our personnel budget. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I have to mention about the budget calendar.
So the only question I had is when we'll be looking at the budget at some point. Do you have a target date when we need to look
I
at it?
think our February meeting is probably when we'll be looking at it. That's what I
Okay.
would hope. At the latest, it would need to be our March meeting.
Okay, just so we're on board for that. All right. Any questions on the budget's calendar? Okay, 7B, the Petersburg Public Library Arts Education Endowment, AEE, Activities Report. This looked really good.
Yeah.
Any questions on this one? Looked,
It just seems like we don't spend enough money.
Oh,
Are we paying Pia enough money?
Well, some of the money comes from, people, I mean, when you see the 240 sitting
Yeah.
next to, yeah, that's not what she was paid.
Okay,
Because people, actually,
they pay for the
fee to
class.
be in the class.
Okay.
And so
Alright.
that offsets some of the cost. So it's a good point. And I did just see the annual spendable amount, the new spendable amount for the Arts Education Endowment yesterday. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna get another $7,000+ in the
Yeah.
account.
we need to pay them more.
So I was actually thinking it would be nice too, to not only, pay our instructors a little more, but also to, keep the prices of classes
yes.
very,
that's good.
very low.
Keep the
Right,
prices
exactly.
low.
Which is what I have for one of the ideas I have for my
Yeah.
proposal, as you'll see as the next agenda item.
Okay.
Yeah.
good.
Alec, you look like you had a question.
No, I'm just. Been shoveling snow
Okay.
in my sleep now, okay.
Are you just waving that? All right. 7C, this is consideration, this is on the next page, some new requests. And you want us to, this will be a motion. And so there's going to be a request to spend down or spend some of this funding in the amount, the proposed amount is $4,000. So in order to have discussion on this, can we have a motion to, and it's in the agenda if somebody wants to make the motion?
I move that the board approves of the allocation of $4,000 from the Petersburg Public Library Art Education Endowment to fund the 3 proposed initiatives as outlined in the attached spreadsheet.
I'll second that.
Okay, now for discussion. There's 3 proposals. Any
I had
questions?
a question on that, and that is, with the 3 proposals, if we okay this and something else comes up, that doesn't mean that's the only thing that will happen this year.
Yeah, it's a good point, Barb. So this is just the first of what will be
Right.
subsequent requests that
Good.
come throughout the year. I don't make one request a year because opportunities pop up
Right.
in the course of the
Okay.
year, and we will come to you for the funding.
So we can fund other things besides just this.
Absolutely.
Got it, good.
And my question was average, do we have an average of how many teen seats are taken in the art classes?
Now, I'm just going to speculate based on my observations. So I would say 2 to 3
Okay,
seats in every class maximum.
do you feel that's good, or do we need to do some advertising to
Well, the programs are
not
directed
advertise?
at adults. And
Okay,
it's up to the teacher if how comfortable they are teaching. Like Ashley's gonna be very comfortable teaching,
kids, yeah,
Yeah.
14, 13 on, whereas
Mhm.
other instructors might not be.
right,
Like the rainforest writers might not be appropriate for it,
Right.
so.
Could not.
So it would, yeah, exactly. So it depends on the class, depends on the instructor. Yeah, but I do think that the way we have been doing it, I'll say, is that often the instructor will agree not to be paid for the teen seats. And this proposal, the 3rd proposal here, teen seats in all of our classes, $2,000.
mhm,
Well, that is so that that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that the instructor gets paid per seat in the class.
right.
At the same rate they're being paid for the adult instruction.
Okay,
That's great.
that sounds
That's my
really
plan.
good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
also point out that it's really important that when we review that, we look also at the guidelines, just to make sure that all of the things I'm asking for
Uh-huh. That's why you
are
put it there.
compliant with the guidelines which are included in your packet.
Mhm. No, I think that the teen seats fit right in. I mean, that's what he wants.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on this? On these proposals? All right, so all in favor of the motion to approve the allocation of $4,000 for these 3 projects? Say aye.
I,
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Then we're on 7D, consideration of the gift acceptance policy. So this is on page 11.
actually, it's on page 14. I
Oh,
was looking that up.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's
You're
okay.
right.
11 is right after the other one.
Okay,
Yeah.
page 14, and the proposed policy is on page 14. Our current policy is on page 15. And so,
I move that the library board adopt the proposed acceptance policy as presented.
Got it.
okay,
I
now
second
for
it.
now for discussion. Tara,
Yeah.
do you have any introductory remarks on this one?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a little background, that's on the agenda, so in 2015. When we moved into the new library, people started to want to donate their stuff. Before it was just their books. And then it was their stuff, and so we adopted, you guys adopted the acceptance of non-library items and collections policy. It's a very awkwardly worded policy that we have. It's the one with the yellow heading that we're looking at. And so what because I've been wanting to review this for a while, because I would say this is one of our most frequently used policies.
Mhm.
And it really helps, and it comes before the board more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their policy. And so, I did a little research and I thought, oh, let's expand this to really drill down to see what kinds of gifts do we accept and what is the process for each. So I've pulled this non-library items and collections policy, and it is now included as 1C in the new policy. And the policy not only has non-library collections, but also monetary gifts. And which can be anything from actual cash to donations, it's donations to the library endowment or just general donations like we get in the front desk, say for summer reading. And collection materials, so books and DVDs. And so I wanted to bring that into a broader gift acceptance policy. So this is everything that we will accept and the terms by which we accept them. Can pull out a few highlights. One is, of course, that what we do with the gift is always at the discretion of the library director. So we're under no obligation to keep gifts. We don't enter into specific agreements with specific people about keeping anything. It's ultimately because I don't want to accept something, make an agreement with somebody 20 years down the road when I am gone. I don't want that for the next person. So that's an important piece of this policy. We don't assess for tax value. And so because I know tax deductions are often a part of donations. We can only assess value if it's cash. We can't assess value if it's an item. Yeah, which again is something we get asked to do. So I've retained that. Do you guys have any questions about this policy?
The only comment I would make, and I think that is the way to do it, is that if people get upset that they don't see their item displayed at the library. So that's something you have to deal with.
It happens.
Yeah.
And then we would refer back to these
Right.
policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not somebody's personal library.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's not like it,
And we only
makes
have so
total
much
sense.
room.
Yeah.
but you just have to,
Right.
follow through with
Yeah.
that, with thinking.
Yeah.
It's just not,
And I think that's in writing and that's a good thing.
yeah, it's great.
And it's hard, as we know, with the Lee ribbon. All that.
Yes, and that goes to our next conversation too about donor recognition.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yes, it can get very complicated, and I've
Mhm.
certainly seen it that close up.
Yeah,
So having it in writing like, and as clear as this makes it much easier to not just enforce it,
Yes.
but inform people that we're not playing favorites with anybody.
Right.
Right,
It's well stated.
I think it's quite clear
yep,
Yeah,
and it's a really good thing to let people know this quite clearly
Yes.
up front before they give the item.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
good.
And this will go on our website too. So it'll
Okay.
be a publicly available policy.
right,
Once you guys, if you guys approve it.
right.
Sounds good.
That's great.
Any other comments or questions? Comments in general on this or questions for Tara? Or anybody else? Is everybody ready to vote?
Mhm.
Okay. On the motion to accept or to adopt the proposed gift acceptance policy as presented, I'll say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Good job. Thank you, Tara, for putting that together. All right, and then on 7E, review revision of donor recognition policy. And again, we've got the proposed revision is on page 16, and our current policy is on page 17 through 19.
So
Yeah.
Right. I move that the board approve the revised donor recognition policy as amended based on the decisions made during this meeting.
I second it.
Okay. So for discussion and we don't, is this the one we don't really have a recommendation, so we're gonna have a discussion on this, and then we can clarify if we're gonna make a decision, we can clarify what the motion really is.
Yeah.
Can I
So,
offer a little background?
Yes.
yes, please
There
do.
is this question of the page, the policy going from 3 pages to 1.
Yes,
And so we adopted the previous policy in 2012, and it was a pretty big time at the library. We had that major capital campaign, raised, I think, $330,000. We named rooms, the Sandvik room, I mean, well, the Henley Jones room was more recent, but we named spaces. It was a really successful capital campaign, but we've carried over this policy to a library that isn't running an active capital campaign, and so that's why I wanted to bring this fairly specific question to you guys, which is, should the library continue naming physical spaces? And I'll offer my sort of general stance is that we've done a pretty good job of naming most of the major spaces here.
That was my question. Do we have any spaces left?
Very few. The teen room is not named. But it's sort of, it doesn't have to continue indefinitely, the naming of spaces. We can, bring that to a successful conclusion. And going forward, just, recognize donors in the other ways that are listed in the policy, that are proposed, I should say, in the policy. It's really up to you guys if you want to keep the space naming in our policy. Another way people name spaces, and this was seen with the Rubik issue that we had a couple of summers ago, is with collection spaces, so naming, say, the woodworking section after a local woodworker, that kind of thing. I'd also like to say that we have a consistent branding. We did talk about that.
Yes.
And that, we couldn't keep that up because that was a particular artist at a particular
Right.
time. That
Right,
allowed us to do those gorgeous woodcut branding that we have
yeah,
all over.
yeah,
And so any mini into the future would not have that look and feel. We would need to reestablish a brand. And for consistency. So we're unable to carry that piece of our donor recognition forward. So that's just for you guys to consider.
If we did decide to, I'm gonna word this correctly, not have any more naming of spaces for anybody. Is that something that could be changed in the future? I mean, what if the teen room, all of a sudden, there's a perfect person who, and then what do you do in that case?
Well, as we talked about earlier, I'm always inclined not to change a policy because of a person.
Yes.
Yeah, because that gets complicated, especially given you're an elected board.
Yes.
So I think that, I'm not saying it's impossible, but the board would need to change the policy before entering into any conversations with people about naming spaces.
Okay, so say again how the policy is stated now, is that rooms can be named for somebody,
Spaces can be named.
and that is at
Here.
the discretion of the board? Or is it?
Well, that's in the 3-page document, yeah.
Right, well, it kind of starts on 17. Under naming and then room.
Yeah, actually, the first paragraph, naming, the board should evaluate all proposals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like even down under naming, it says it's considered either by philanthropy, oh geez, thank you, or honorific. And then corporation, individual, I mean, there was, there's a lot in there.
Well, can I just offer a sort of an overall rather than getting down into the weeds for right now? Just to reiterate there's a change of circumstances, and I think that the proposed policy actually acknowledges and recognizes that we are no longer in an active capital fundraising, and the whole and I wasn't around, but I'm listening pretty carefully. But the whole the underlying purpose of having the naming recognition there was to encourage large donations for the capital improvements, and we're no longer in that position. So we certainly want to continue accepting donations, but it's in a much different realm. And so coupled with that and the fact that we've got limited physical space that can take donors' names anymore because it's filling up, the space is filling up. I think this is a really good, much easier policy to put out to the public and to have folks understand it. It's pretty clear cut.
And under types of recognition, B, I mean, if they want to donate, I mean, there's the donor wall, the fishing wall. And the largest one is it a halibut? And it's 1,000,
It's a boat.
it's five, yeah, a boat, 5,000. So, I mean, you can donate still a lot. if you
And
want.
endowments too, I believe, the named endowments, last I
Oh,
checked with the
that's-
Alaska Community Foundation, those were at a minimum of $10,000.
Oh, okay, there you go. So the opportunity is still there
Yes.
and people would still know their names. They just wouldn't be on a wall unless you're on the fishing wall.
There'd be a lot.
I love.
Whatever happened to the idea of an outdoor, gazebo or?
Yeah, right, by that, over that big.
Because would that be something that would be?
We, I'm just gonna dredge it out of my memory right now. We didn't have enough money to do it. It was way more expensive to do it. Once I started contacting, various folks, I talked to Rock and Road, I talked to a contractor. We just didn't have the money, so we would actually have needed to do another capital campaign to do it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of concern about, maintaining it, and creating a space like that that's unsupervised.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
Yeah, I believe that's kind of where we left it off, but
Okay,
the main thing
alright.
is we simply would need to run another capital campaign to just fund it.
Get the money.
And actually leads me
Okay.
to I insist.
All right, then I'm going to say that in the future, if we ever change our minds about that, we could specifically look for that one thing and it would be sort of outside the realm of this.
Yeah, and that's essentially
Okay.
what I was gonna say is I have seen libraries that closed out capital campaigns for the construction of their new facility, took a break, and then say wanted to do an addition.
Mhm.
Not that I'm saying we need to do an addition, we
No.
absolutely don't. And then the board would meet and deliberate, and basically, the board didn't do the capital campaign, the
Right.
capital campaign committee did the capital campaign. And so you would authorize for the campaign committee, which is like a subset of the Friends,
Okay,
to do that work, raise a specific amount of money in a specific way
Okay,
for a specific project, and then close it out again.
all right, so that still leaves that.
Yeah, so that's like the process that Barb was asking about, like what if we needed to do in the
Yes,
future?
okay, so that
We could, the board could do it in that way.
I think there's a certain elegance to shutting it down now, as far as naming areas. I personally, I think it's too much to start naming the Woodward area, the memoir area. So yeah, I would think that this is a very good idea.
It seems like there's an aspect of this with this, that goes beyond the monetary, which is like the worth of the entity or the person that makes it operate. So maybe this has helped separate that out. I mean, because the board in a way was a cold-hearted. And we're all, I mean, we all appreciate it. Because in respect to what people in the future have to kind of do in the present. I mean, you're sort of laying the, you know, it's the next generation that has to deal with that. I wonder if that separates that. That's what kind of speaks to me, was like kind of the awkwardness. It's like, you know, is this person valued by the community, or they themselves value themselves? Can we help them value themselves? Or, you know, it gets confusing.
Yeah, and that's where we get into that next item, which is should honorific naming remain unavailable from recognition, but I'm not sure that first part of the conversation about physical spaces and does anyone else have anything to say about that?
I still have a question on the named endowments. If somebody, how would their name? Would it only be on the fishing wall? Is that where a named endowment, if somebody wanted to give $20,000 to the library of, and the Alaska Community Foundation is involved, how does that name?
Are we talking about 2C?
2C,
So 2C, that named endowment should be
Yes.
established at the request of a donor or proposed by the
How is
library board
that?
with the donor's permission. So how that worked, I've only done it once with John McCabe. What was years ago now,
Oh.
but I'm assuming the process is the same. The donor has, they want to create an endowment
Right,
for the
okay.
library. Then, I contact the Alaska Community Foundation, they let me know what the minimum requirements are. And then we have some initial discussions about if it's a restricted endowment. In the case of the arts endowment, yeah, that's restricted, we can only use it for certain, under certain guidelines set up by the founder, John. Or unrestricted, which is library can use it for whatever the library sees fit. And so that, and then we would then come up with a proposal if the donation fit. The guidelines for the Alaska Community Foundation, I would come to you guys and I would, say. This person wants to donate this much money, and these are the proposed
Okay.
criteria, and then you guys would. go
Right.
to. And then ultimately, we probably would go through down a similar process that we have with John, whereby the board is always the oversight, because ultimately
Right.
that person, you know, our time on this earth is finite. So the endowment will outlive the person.
Right,
So the
right.
board is, you know, right, sorry, that's too big for the meeting, but the board will hopefully be here past the lifetime of any one person who makes that.
And-
got it, okay.
And other people can donate to that endowment.
Yes, they can, and if they,
Yes,
that's the other
yeah,
thing.
that's another
right.
piece, and so if someone say, and this just happened, donates $100 to the Arts Education Endowment, I'll contact them and see if they want official wall.
I see, okay, got it, that's, yeah.
And as long as Joseph is here to make us fish. That's why I have a thing in here about that too,
Yes, I
because that
saw
is,
that, yes.
it's not like ideal that it's attached to him, but he's done such a beautiful job.
Yes.
But beyond his ability to do it, that's a whole other issue we have to address.
So John McCabe's endowment is really the only named endowment, I guess?
Yes, it's the
That's
only
the only one.
restricted endowment that we have, or
Okay.
other endowments are
Okay.
Wait, is it named the John McCabe?
It's named the art.
Right, it's
It's
art and
yeah.
down, not
You know
John
what I mean?
McCabe.
John
But
didn't
that's-
want his name on
He
it.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
want
know,
it.
that's-
No, I know, but
But
that's
yeah,
what,
I heard Barb say that
No,
it's John
I
McCabe.
know his name isn't on it.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
But
okay.
if he had wanted his name on it, it could have been.
Yeah.
Sure could
We
have.
can put it back on now too. I mean, 200,000? No, I'm kidding. I know, yeah.
So we're getting off topic just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not
And,
cheap.
and
Okay,
I got interrupted over here as well, so, but I wanted to acknowledge that Mary Ellen has joined us. Thank you.
Yes, I apologize profusely for being late.
That's okay. They put me in charge, Mary Ellen. I think you did it,
Thank you, would you continue, please?
you did it by design, I think.
I'm sure you're doing an exemplary job and I'd love for you to continue. I'm really scattered right now, so.
I will continue.
Thank you.
So is there any other discussion on the revisions, proposed revisions for the donor recognition policy? And I'll just summarize, as it's presented here, proposed on page 16, it's gone from three pages to one page, so it's significant changes. And the biggest change, not besides just space and amount of space that it's going to take, is it's ending the physical space recognition, naming physical spaces to high donors. And that's really the biggest one.
Right.
Does anyone have any more questions about the naming physical spaces after donors? Just before we move on to that next piece, which is about honorific naming, which I think is more complicated.
Right.
But I really want
Nope,
to
I
make
think I got talked out, Tara. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
The second
So-
one.
Next question, should honorific naming remain an available form of recognition? I'd like to hear the kind of you on that, and this is such an important one, I think, that it's good to hear from all of you about it.
I feel like that if people, that they could use the fishing law to do that. Instead of, as we talked about, areas or fields, woodworking.
So honorific, maybe I should clarify the
Yeah,
meaning of
okay.
honorific. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Honorific recognition is recognizing somebody who has not given a monetary donation.
Oh, okay, so that changes it. Okay.
What do they need to do to have an honor?
Let's start with the question of should we do it? Because once we decide that is something the board does, then we would need to have another discussion about what that would look like.
So you're saying that if we honor somebody, that there's like two honorific, I mean, you honor them because they've given, but there's also people that haven't given monetary.
Honorific recognition is just for non-monetary.
Just for
Yeah,
non-monetary.
because if someone's donated and we're
Okay.
recognizing them, then it's a donor recognition.
Gotcha.
So this would be not,
Maybe.
so this would
Sure.
be for somebody who's providing services that the library wants to recognize in the community. Or who are coming in. I mean, I don't think we have this, but somebody who comes in and regularly puts in new flowers on their own expense and maintains the plants in the garden for the next 15 years in the library, and we choose, after 15 years of them doing that we want to recognize. I'm making that up. I don't think we have such a
Right,
person.
yeah.
If you-
But
But something like that.
We did a card or something? No. Who was the lady who was doing all the?
Well,
Yeah.
he does thank you cards and just.
Yes.
So I was-
This is a little beyond actually sending a thank you card. This is actually like honorific naming recognition, so.
Like naming the garden after.
Yes, so
Oh, I
I
see.
see, okay, say we have a retired librarian, a beloved retired librarian, many in our community. And we decide to name the tea room after them.
Okay, so what you're saying is that it's a naming a physical. Item, place, per, whatever. That's the honorific part.
Yeah, and I would actually say it's more along the lines of, there's somebody in the community that is beloved, associated with literary arts. And people come to the board meeting and say, we think we should name a library after this wonderful person. We love them so much. They've had such a big impact on the community and on the library. That's what honorific naming looks like.
Okay.
Permanently.
On that.
Well, and actually with the photograph of Ruth Sandvik that came before you,
Mhm.
that wasn't a naming thing, but that was an honorific
Right,
Right.
situation.
right.
And as you could see from that, it needs its own very specific set of guidelines.
Yes, it has.
Yeah,
And where is that here?
It's not.
Oh,
I
it's
I
not.
would like you guys to decide if that's even a thing you want to be doing before we actually
get a
go-
guideline.
because I would say, we haven't, as a board, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't really actually done it before.
Closest we've come to it is Lee Ribbick.
Yeah, it's the only thing I was thinking of.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That started off by not.
Yeah.
following Protocol in the first place, so it
Yeah.
became so.
Start off with a chain of bang events.
So if we decide to have no honorific recognition, then if somebody comes to us like the Lee Ribbick, then we can just say, I'm sorry, we don't do that. Is that?
yeah. That's what that would look like.
It simplifies things to say, just say no. But
Yeah, and there's,
do we ever want that to occur? I mean.
yeah, I think we have an interesting situation with Chris retiring, right? Here's
Yes.
and here's somebody that is
Yeah.
beloved, big impact.
Big.
It doesn't mean that we can't, the board, and I would say through the friends, the board can't encourage the friends to throw a party.
Right.
Have something in the newspaper acknowledging her contribution.
Mhm.
Like, this doesn't necessarily mean that and although the board might not want to do that, they might want to go to the friends to ask them to.
Yes.
Keeping in mind that this is a publicly elected board. With it's a little bit different than a normal volunteer board, you are a municipal board.
And how is it different? Is it more?
It's a little more formal.
Form.
Yeah,
Right, because like we make motions and all that, like the harbor board, well, they're elected too.
yeah.
I
Okay.
have this gut feeling like allowing it opens a can of worms. Like you said, there's so many librarians in town and it's everybody like felt like, well, can't they probably just pass or whatever and get we name. And name the library after or this person or that person and
I know,
then
it's
then you
really
have to
hard.
weigh in and
That's difficult.
But you could have just like a big board with everybody's name on it. And that we honored,
Well, it's called the fishing wall.
yeah. No, that's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
We're
The
talking
service.
That's the
Yeah.
name of
Specifically
it.
service
for all the librarians or beloved other people,
or volunteers.
volunteer.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, there you go. People that have.
There you go. I don't think we have a wall that big.
Yeah. Oh.
Seriously, we don't have a wall that big. I mean, you could stack them up
Well.
in here.
So, am I correct that if we vote on this without anything other than what's on this piece of paper, the honorific recognition would not exist?
Take a look at 3B
3B,
on page 16.
yes,
The library board may recognize individuals who have given exceptional service to the Petersburg Public
that would
Library.
be out.
I've included that for purposes of discussion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that would be
If we
there.
were to, if you were as a group to not want to continue or not to really implement honorific recognition, that would not be,
Yeah,
3B would not be,
but
We would amend the motion.
yes.
We don't need to explicitly say we are not doing it.
no,
We just don't have any verbiage. What if someone comes and proposes that and we say we don't do that?
Well, you make a great point, Mary Ann. So we could actually add the word, we could turn that 3B into
Yeah.
a sentence that specifically calls that out. I think that's a really important point that you just made.
so how would you word that, how would you word that sentence?
The library board
not
will not
recognize.
recognize. We could just turn may into will not or something along those lines. I would also say, I would say that we don't need to necessarily approve this policy, like, this is a complicated policy revision we're endeavoring to do here. It's okay if you guys give me direction, or and Deb could help us manage the voting that would need to take place, but we could also, you guys can make recommendations, and then we could table it, and then I can come up with new language for the next meeting.
I like that.
Okay, I have an idea. What if we make the suggestion that people wishing to honor someone for a long-term service may apply to have a halibut or a boat put on the fishing wall in the person's name without it being a donation? Or does that open another can of worms?
But then how, who would pay for it?
It would be.
Then you guys would have to deliberate
And decide
and
that
talk
person was
about, we
worthy.
talk about that person's legacy.
Right.
Because we saw with Lee, that's really hard. It's a
Yeah.
really hard conversation.
And like Marilyn said, who would pay for it, or nobody pays for it, it's just an
But
expense
then
of the
that's
library.
the issue between people who pay and people who
So
don't.
I'm gonna-
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump
That's
in
a
because
no.
I'm also looking at the time and we still have a couple more things on the agenda. So I know this is a little, I really like this policy. I mean, I really like that we're talking about this, and it's hard to talk about a policy without knowing how it's going to get implemented. And I think Tara has purposefully said, do we want to do this? And then yes or no. And then we decide how we're going to do it. And so I think that's tripping up the discussion a little bit by because we all want to know, well, how are we going to recognize people who we want to recognize if we adopt this? But if we separate it, do we want to do it or not? Yes or no? That's really the question. And so I think we can either sit on it and on 3B, just sit on it and not do anything yet, and come back to it at the next meeting after folks have had a chance to consider it, or leave it as may with the and I like the may because it doesn't mean we have to. It also doesn't mean we can't. It just says that the board may recognize individuals, blah, blah, blah. And then and then ask Tara to, and with whomever she wants to work with, to come up with some guidelines for that, for us to discuss at a future date. So I think those are our two options. We either sit on it and not vote on that this time, or we vote on the way that it's presented now, knowing that we're going to come back with a discussion on implementation. Did I mess that up,
I
Tara?
like it.
Yeah,
I like that idea. You're voting on it.
like that. I have,
I did too.
I just had a thought while you were talking. Thank you for
Uh-huh.
that. That really helped me understand our guys' steps. What we could do potentially, what you as a group could do is remove for the time being 3B from the policy. So we have a donor recognition policy without 3B. And then for an upcoming meeting, we can discuss whether or not we want an honorific naming policy, which would be separate. And then this policy would simply, because it's gonna be complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's its own page.
Yeah.
And so and then this policy would simply refer to the honorific naming policy.
I like
that.
That's smart,
I
yeah.
thought it has some time to
Yes.
digest and to research, see what other libraries are doing.
Yes,
see How they
yeah.
handle the
I agree.
situation.
Me too.
But I think this needs to be done.
Yeah, I think by pulling 3B out.
Yeah.
You want me to amend my,
potentially approve the donation policy
Mhm.
and then have the steps separate
Yes, I like
conversation
that.
at another meeting. Yeah.
so I should amend
Really
my,
good
motion,
Yeah, good luck on that.
okay? No, it's really easy.
Written out for you.
No, well, I didn't see where you've written it out, but I move that we, approve the donor recognition policy, but remove, 3B.
I'll
I
second that.
said, yeah.
See? Wasn't
And
it easy?
I would just add the word as proposed.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, because, yeah, I just, as amended, I forgot that part. Sorry about that. She says as amended there, right?
Okay.
Does that work, Tara?
How does that sound to everybody?
It sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
I like it.
Okay, and we keep the 3B open for further discussion.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there a vote?
No.
No,
Not
you
yet.
have to vote on the amendment first.
Wait,
So we have a motion to, accept the proposed revisions. The donor recognition policy proposed revision, minus the 3B.
I think you have to vote on the amendment first.
Wait.
You know, I made a motion to amend that, so you have to vote to accept the amendment. I'm not trying to tell you guys, Robert's rules, then you vote on the amended,
Ah, okay.
motion.
So, so
I'm
if you're second,
just-
so if you're,
Aye.
the person that accepted, the person that seconded your original motion accepts your amendment, we can just vote on it.
Okay. Do you
Was
guys?
that-
I
you guys-
accept it.
Okay, perfect.
All right,
Thank you.
so we only have one vote. And that is
Okay,
to approve the donor recognition policy as proposed.
that's an amendment.
the removal. 3B.
Yeah.
3B.
With the removal of 3B. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Any objections?
No.
Okay, and I have somebody knocking at the door and nobody's in the house, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
But if Tara wants to introduce the next, oh, I'm the next one. Go to the gratitudes, Tara.
Okay, I will.
So that puts it on you to come up with if we want to have an on your fixed.
You guys-
she wants it discussed.
You guys will see it on the next
Yeah,
agenda.
perfect.
As an item.
Yeah, okay,
Talk about.
So we should get educated on it, like.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll prepare some stuff. I have a question for you guys about the way I've formatted the agenda this time. Have you noticed the sequence of motions?
Yes, I like it.
Is that helping?
Yes.
It felt a bit presumptuous initially, but it actually even helps me
No, I liked it.
think about
The
it.
only addition I'd like to see is like, I went and did it, is like after, like you want the budget, if you could put the page number that you're on when we have this many pages to look at. You know what I mean? Go forward to, and so then I put page 10 for
Yeah, 'cause
let
you constantly
see, yeah, that way you
Okay, I'm
know.
back.
And you have them numbered.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah, that's
You're welcome.
very good.
It's a lot of work putting this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
ChatGPT really helped me. I can't take all the credit.
Well, yeah,
So I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay,
And I don't know that we have time for me to give a report on the conference that I went to where was I? I forgot where it was, North Carolina.
Some state.
I'd like to just let them know, we don't actually have to stick to an hour. There's no.
Oh, we
don't?
There's a hard and fast rule. We tend to like to do it just because of schedules, but
Yeah.
I think we have time for this.
and I think I believe I won hundred.
Yeah.
We're-
Okay.
And the only person here that might need to go be done an hour is you, because you're in office.
So this is the second year that I went to this conference. It's really good. If there's any chance, I think it might be actually on the West Coast this next time. And I'll just keep in touch with Tara when it gets done. I don't have the agenda in front of me. I think I shared it with you, Tara, and I was gonna grab it from you when I came to the meeting, but I'm not there. So it's one of those where somebody can get a little overwhelmed because of all the stuff that's going on. There's usually about 35 to 40 workshops going on simultaneously for 2.5 days. And then there's always a lot of events and special meetings happening also beforehand and in the evening time. So it's a pretty high-stressed, fast-paced conference where there are tribal archives, libraries, and museums represented for the entire week there. And just because it has the word tribal in front of this conference, what I have seen in the 2 times that I've been there is this really exciting collaboration between all of the archives, libraries, and museums across the country. And it says it's an international, but mostly it's people, mostly it's entities that are from the United States, from all over. So, and the thing about it is that especially the museums and archives, there's non-tribal entities, and I would include libraries, who are actively participating and collaborating with tribes and non-tribal entities. And it's just a how can we do better type attitude throughout the entire time. So it's if it's on the West Coast, I would really look for somebody to be able to go from our library just to be able to talk with other smaller libraries and see and make connections. I'm still learning from the connections that I've made just the 2 times that I've gone. And I'll just add, I did not go as a representative from a tribe this last time or from the library. I actually went as a working artist. And the association is actively recruiting and reaching out to working artists so that they can interact, particularly with the museums who have tribal artifacts in their collections so that it's not just a repository for native items, but really is how can they be working with the tribes to make those items come alive. Not just get returned, but come alive and be used. So it's an exciting group, and I can't really say enough about them. That's all I got.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
many sessions here.
Wow.
Or passed around the things that you left with things up.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think
How many were you able to go to, Dad?
Um, in the 3 days, I was able to go to probably a half a dozen workshops and then talk to a gazillion people. Yeah.
Because some of them they're not like half days or whole days. Or maybe some of them are, but there's enough smaller ones that you can go to more than 3 things.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I also led one workshop on my dissertation research on Raven's tail weaving. And I also co-led a weaving workshop with 2 other artists, which was
Nice.
half a day.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, do enjoy reading that. They've got a website and you can go to it and visit and stuff like that. Okay. And then the next thing is the next meeting. I'm actually going to be in Juneau on February 17th, so I won't be available to be at the meeting in
And
February.
I will not be in the country.
Okay.
Really? Oh, well.
I'll propose a few different times.
Yeah.
It's closer and see if we can.
So I couldn't even. do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
We skipped over 8B.
Oh, 8B,
8B.
gratitudes.
Oh,
You did.
I thought you had done gratitudes while I was answering.
No, we didn't have a chance to. I was asking another question.
Okay,
Sorry.
gratitude, sorry.
Every one of them deserves a big hallelujah, big round of applause.
Yes.
You know, every time I come in the library, I mean, drive by, I smile because of the lights that in that.
Oh,
bright.
they're beautiful.
You know,
Yes.
and then my grandkids, I mean, and plus, with Kinderskog there, back here a lot and they talk about it. It's great. I mean, we are so fortunate in this town to have somebody that cares that much
Yeah,
about our community, to put in the time and the effort and the money to make our community beautiful. It's just fabulous.
yeah.
So Lizzie, you're doing all the thank you notes?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, we need to.
Do we have to do a thank you note to you, to thank you notes?
Tell me a little bit about Sunny Rice's different things. Can someone,
Oh, the science series is amazing. I mean,
is she the one booking the different?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Barb attends some of them, so.
Yeah,
I've attended, you know, she always has one on the Five Finger Lighthouse, what they have accomplished for the season. What was the last one?
She's
Yes.
brought people in about landslide.
Yes,
landslide
she was the one
folks.
that brought the,
The bats?
Oh, yeah. we're
And the bats, yes.
Yes.
and one of the ones that was most impactful for me for the last year was the, Jolene she had in the summer, who's here, plotting everything for, the underground. And,
Yes.
a geologist from, Arizona. And he just popped in and she snagged him. No, but, about our whole formation and how the tectonic plates, two
That
tectonic
was
plates are going like
really-
this, and how the line runs right down Frederickstown.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
I kept telling, you have to
She
have
needs
this
to come
app.
back.
Annie." I mean, there was so much information thrown at us in an hour
Mm.
that I was just like this, and I can't, I mean, he has to come back so I can get more of that.
And she doesn't always have a lot of notice that somebody's in.
Right.
town.
It was an odd day. It wasn't even on a Thursday, which is the normal day.
Hmm.
It was in kind of a middle, and it wasn't even at night, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it was really, that was the most impactful besides
Yes.
the landslide one, because there's a mountain by my house.
Yeah,
She does a great job.
yeah, so she really harnesses a lot of the people that come through town.
Mhm.
And makes this happen, and they're very well attended. She makes a lot happen.
She does.
And I'd say she does at least 1 month. I don't think there's one this month, but some months she does
Yeah.
too.
Well, and that's her goal, to do one a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
very.
can I turn this over to Mary Ellen and go take care of my person who's been
You
snow
think you have
shoveling?
to go back to work?
Yeah.
Well, I've got somebody who's shoveling outside and I need to go take care of him.
Okay.
Do we need to take any action on that? Do we need to vote on having?
I vote Lizzie writes these.
I said.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yeah.
I vote we thank, I vote we,
Opposed?
thank her in person, so we don't have to write her, thank you, don't know.
No, don't write anything.
And the next meeting tentatively scheduled will be scheduled by email.
Yes.
Yes, so we don't need to vote on it.
No.
All right, I vote, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
I
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, I apologize, you guys. Oh, yeah. So I couldn't put it on.